Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the third-person MMO-esque co-op dungeon crawler and capital acquisition simulator experience that is Warframe. I am Sir Tonko the Sixth and will be your proctor for this quick start guide. Warframe is a game about underhanded economic subterfuge, elimination of rival competition, explosive investment returns, and cutthroat boardroom politics. You are a Tenno, a new and headstrong entrepreneur unafraid to cover paths straight to the top of society where only the most savage of businessmen lie. Those in opposition will not take kindly to your actions, and individuals lacking the testicular fortitude to enact the full brutality of a hostile corporate takeover may find immersion difficult. If you have not been deterred, or dare I say these actions to you appear fun, then congratulations, you may indeed have what it takes to be a space capitalist. Starting entrepreneurs are immediately given the option to pick between 3 Warframes. Of these, Excalibur has the quickest and most effective return of investment, functioning to a high caliber without much input. Because you are, as we at the upper echelons of society put it, a dirty plebeian, you will not have the necessary modules to outshine Excalibur's sheer base effectiveness with the likes of Mag and Volt. After finishing the introductory mission, you will find yourself on an empty ship, with the only company being the incessant and torturous ramblings of a machine so vile that it will not be named. While you may feel overwhelmed, there is a clear path to follow from the poverty that you are in now to the glorious riches that await in Endgame. Pour yourself up by the bootstraps by completing the quests Vor's Prize and Once Awake, making sure to acquire and retain funding along the way in the form of credits. Now is the time to make your first financial venture. Tenno are odd creatures, who instead of using wealth to gain property and business holdings, find a more direct return of investment in the form of firearms. Purchase the Bratton rifle or the Stroon shotgun from the marketplace for 25,000 credits, as well as the Lex pistol for a crispy 50k. Cast aside your Mark 1 equipment for the superior items, but retain them until the tenure is complete at level 30, lest you find yourself revisiting them later. Weapon and Warframe levels contribute to your mastery rank, which is a direct representation of the size of your codpiece, so always level items fully to successfully daunt or entice your future business partners. Knowing what to do with weaponry is of course a requirement. Any intellectual lightweight, for instance, could take a small loan of 1 million credits and make less of a return than simply sitting on the currency. To truly excel, you must use resources, which in this situation are your modules, to their highest capacity. Look to acquire the base damage, 4 elemental, and multi-shot mods, as these will be a staple on any weapon you decide to use. The same is true for your Warframe. Many competitors will attempt to resist your corporate takeover with somewhat mildly lethal tactics, hinder their plans by using defensive mods, and leveling the frame. Increasing the effectiveness of your Warframe's powers is also a must, as it is what represents you on the battlefield of corporate warfare. After all, a weak representative is the sign of a weak business. Mods that increase health and shields, as well as power max, strength, duration, range, and efficiency should be sought after. Business expansion is always a must, and here it is no different. Expand your influence through the nodes of each planet on the star chart. Finding other Tenno to assist in venture capitalism is always a good option, although be mindful of those far and above yourself, as they tend to buy out entire swaths of enemy shareholdings with a single well-placed explosive. This may decrease your personal satisfaction of the early game and hamper the jolly cooperation you would otherwise have. The goal now would be to attempt to muster the needed mastery for rank 3 or 4. In Warframe, death delivery devices come in many forms, and one should acquaint oneself with the full gambit of tools to decide upon which suits him or her more. I have compiled a small list of such for your convenience that are both easy to build and effective in the early to mid game. For primaries, there is the Latron, Burston, Heck, Paris, Rakata, Bolter, and Hind. For secondaries, the Vasto, Bolto, Ballistica, Bronco, Furis, Stug, Kunai, and Haiku will leave you well-rounded. For melee weapons, the bow, Kogaki, Dual Ether, Orthos, and Galatine offer a variety of carving techniques. Construct some or all of these and test the waters of what types of weapons you fancy. You have in your possession enough slots to keep 1 or 2 favorites while you level and discard the rest when they hit 30. Increasing your available Warframes will also be an effective move. Excalibur may pay the bills, but there is always room to expand a collection. Early warframes are acquired via boss battles, wherein you must buy out the majority of shares to the boss's company through the use of bullets before they can do the same to you. Inquire about Rhino from the Jackal on Venus, or liberate Valkyr from Aladvi's slave trade on Jupiter if you desire a more durable frame. Alternatively, if cast is more your forte, it is rumored that the Sergeant on Mars has a pristine mag set, and a well-known fact that Sargus Ruck on Saturn got so jealous about Ember doing fire better than he does that he hoards every part of it out of spite. These will function well, are straightforward to use, and drop from lower level bosses, making farming a trivial matter. Touching briefly on how to mod, each level on weapons and warframes increases the mod capacity by a singular integer, up to a maximum of 30. This can be doubled through the use of Orokin reactors and catalysts acquired through alerts and invasions. Warframes and melee weapons each have their own unique mods, called auras and stances respectively. These, instead of taking away from mod capacity, add to it, and can allow the weapon or warframe to exceed the maximum mod capacity. Upon reaching Mastery Rank 3, it is of the utmost importance that you complete the quests Stolen Dreams, A New Strange, Natar, and Second Dream. The former two unlocking the full features of one Cephalon Similis at a local relay, and the others which activate a pivotal story event and gameplay augmentation, give you the best longsword, and contains one of the most titular cutscenes in the game. A word of caution, however, as by now enemies have become wise to your tactics and have adapted to market forces to have improved defenses against your ballistics. As a result, modding for the correct elemental damage for each faction is paramount. Against Grineer, employ corrosive and heat-based builds, or alternatively use radiation and viral damage against the larger baddies. Corpus will require you to exploit their reliance on shielding technology by taking magnetic and toxin damage. However, blast and electricity work well on missions with more heavy robotics. The infested are weak to corrosive and heat, although making a substitution for blast damage will allow the ancients to be defeated at an increased rate. Mastery Rank 3 is also where syndicates are able to be accessed. Syndicates offer a wide variety of gear, mods capable of turning the poorer weapons into late-game powerhouses, and some of the most powerful firearms in the game. It is advised to become acquainted with 2 to 4 syndicates you find most appealing in terms of offerings, political stances, or because other Tenno business partners you may have are invested into 3 and you choose the opposite in order to trade gear between yourselves. As for a brief overview on each of these syndicates, the Perrin sequence is by far the most superior, as they are brilliant capitalists with an impeccable R&D division. They are allied, most likely for tax cut purposes, with New Loka, a bunch of dirty nature-loving hippies. Cephalon Suda is a rogue NSA AI intent on collecting all information available, and is allied with Arbiters of the Hexus. Lastly, there is Steel Meridian, a group with good intentions, but are constrained by their overt willingness to offer assistance to bums and deadbeats. They are allied with the Red Veil, who are, well... Wake me up inside. Wake me up inside. That. From here, your journey expands in whichever direction your entrepreneurship takes you. From collecting all of the primed items in the void, to joining a clan and constructing a dojo, or putting 6 Former on a Tonko because it's the best weapon in the universe, the game truly begins now. You might consider now the time to make a monetary purchase to acquire platinum, as the in-game currency is the only way to acquire additional slots for weapons and warframes. This is, however, the only gameplay affecting element acquired exclusively via platinum, so my suggestion is to only spend it on slots, or perhaps the odd cosmetic or Orokin reactors and catalysts from time to time. Platinum discounts are given randomly through login rewards at increments of 20, 50, and 75%, so consider holding off on purchasing one until one of those is awarded. For Tenno who have found more exquisite items in their journeys, you can also attempt to barter between other Tenno. Be warned, however, that there is no set price for any given item, and other Tenno may attempt to price gouge you or get a steal at any given opportunity. With these closing statements, I bid you farewell and good luck in your future space capitalism. I am an unassuming gentleman, and you have just been served.